All right, it's that time again, time for the solo overnight in the woods. And today, we got something special, so let's get to it. All right, today I want to kick this off and do something a little bit different. We're gonna do a bunch of gear reviews that wrap into an overnighter and cook some good food as well. I'm gonna cook something today, or attempt to, that I have not done before. I'm not gonna give anything away. We'll get to that part later in the video. Now, before we get too far down the trail, we have 100 Corporals Corner stainless steel mess kits dropping to my website as we speak, corporalscorner.com, and that link is located in my video description box. Every single Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, our videos are going to drop, as well as our mess kits. Check us out, corporalscorner.com. Now, I contacted a company called Orc Industries, and for those that don't know, Orc, O-R-C, is the lead supplier to the U.S. military since 1976 for several items. One item in particular is the U.S. military poncho. Now, there's a lot of scuttlebutt out there with individuals saying that they have U.S. gear, U.S. military gear, U.S. surplus gear, gear that's made per military spec. But the reality is most of that comes from China. Even though it's sewn to U.S. military spec, it comes from China. You're not supporting the U.S. or USA, you're not supporting workers. Orc Industries hires veterans, people with disabilities, things like that. So it supports the economy, and again, it supports the U.S. military personnel indefinitely because you're getting their gear. So that alone I like. But just be leery of individuals saying that they have U.S. ponchos and they're doing it for, looking out for your best interest, when really it comes from China for $5 and they're fattening their pockets. Once again, it's Orc Industries, O-R-C. I'll put a link in my video description box. I am not an affiliate, and I don't get one dime from that company. Most people are looking for good military ponchos, and in my opinion, go to where they manufacture and supply the U.S. military. Once again, Orc Industries. And that link is in my video description box. So I'm gonna check out two different ponchos today. One's the OD green, and one's the old school woodland camo. We're gonna look at them, compare them to my current one from the 1990s, and then we're gonna erect a two poncho overlapping shingled A-frame style tarp tent. On that note, let's check them out. Now here's my 1999 military poncho. Looking at these two ponchos, they're virtually identical except for the color. Woodland camo is no longer being used by the U.S. military. However, they still make the actual ponchos because people like that and people buy them. This one here seems to be darker. Why? Because it's 30 plus years old. This one is brand new. So let's go ahead and unfold these and check them out. Length and width are identical. Grommet tie-outs, exactly the same. The button snaps have been upgraded. And let's be honest, that probably needed to happen because how many have ponchos from the 80s and 90s, or even served during that era, maybe even today, where you go to grab that thing and snap it together with a different one, or snap it over, say, in an actual improvised sleeping bag, and half the buttons are flattened out and don't even snap together, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Color difference aside, when you actually feel this material, it's identical, and that rubberized coating is exactly the same. You can tell that this thing is aged. Like I said, it's 30 plus years old, and this one is brand new, but it feels exactly the same. It even has that nice fresh poncho smell. Now the OD green one is identical to this, except for it's OD green. And those are not being used in the military anymore either. They do sell the multi-cam digital, but that's not my era and I want nothing to do with it. And the fit up is identical as a 1990s poncho. You got a good fit in the front and the back, roughly 5 wide by 7 long. And the hood fits as well with your drawstring right here. Now the only actual real difference that I could see on this, other than the color, is that the buttons that they have on here that are upgraded are some type of polymer or plastic or something. They're not metal, which is good and bad. A lot of plastics and things nowadays are almost just as strong as thin gauge steel. But my concern would be two things. One, that at some point they'd break, like everything else does. Or two, they're not compatible with the old school ponchos. So let's try and solve one of those problems right now and actually see if I can button the new button to the old snap. Look at that. And doing this several times here to make sure that it continues to work, there is no damage to that snap at all. Zero. So one of our fears can be put to rest. As far as that polymer plastic goes, once again, only time will tell. Now on that note, let's go ahead and get this thing in an overlapping shingled A-frame style pup tent. So we overlapped it like a shingle on a roof, and we tied the corner of one poncho to the center of the other poncho and did that on both sides. Now the downside to using ponchos, this is as good as you're gonna get. So here's the method behind the madness. The reason why we went ahead and put an arbor knot on the corner to the center is so that you can adjust your placement. Ideally, you want this pole to be in the center of both these grommets, so you know it's equal on both sides. Do you have to do it like this to find that center placement? No, you don't. If you want one side off-centered, that's entirely up to you. It's just easier to find the center this way and then stake it out versus trying to stake out that bottom, because as you pull it, it's going to slide over top of that top pole and pull itself downward. You might have one flap here and one flap up here. If you're happy with that, that's up to you. But one leg now will be longer than the other. Catch my drift? To get that exactly centered and legs be equal, it has to be done like this. And that way it's shingled on the inside and the outside, is what it is. Now, the exception is, what if the ground were like this? Then you're gonna want one leg longer. But everything being equal, why bother with it? And the last step here is to pull this out in the center, stake it out, and we can readjust the corners. And if you absolutely wanted to, you could actually pull that out even more. But I think it's fine just like that. So there's probably several ways you can go about this. Like I said, you could just flop one end over and then just stake it out. Or you could do what I did right here, pull it down and actually use a clove hitch right here and then stake the other end down. We were dealing with a bipod on this end. We tied to a tree on that end over there. If you had two bipods, you could tie clove hitches or even arbor knots on every single one of these legs, and it'll work out exactly the same. So the ends are staked out, tied off over here. We're shingled, it's overlapped. And if you wanted to, you could go ahead and twist this hood up, pull that side out, make it larger on the inside, tie it to a tree, stake it out, or leave it as is. No rain in the forecast, so we're gonna leave it like it is. But if you look at this, it's the exact same size as two shelter halves or military shelter halves that create a military pup tent. So there's a method to the madness. As long as you shingle that roof right there, one under the other, at that halfway point, your grommet should be right at that center, and it's equally shingled, and it gives you about 4.5 feet up to the center and 4.5 feet down. So if you have two people with two ponchos, there you go. A two poncho military pup tent. Now, one thing you can do to actually increase your skill set is to make a tinder bundle using a green stick. We have a flexible green stick right here, just a simple limb that I cut off of a tree. Taking the back side of your knife, or say the saw on a pocket knife, simply process shavings in the same manner you would as far as fatwood goes, Once you get a gigantic ball of shavings, simply spread them out for a few minutes, let them air dry, and you'll be in business. Once you got a ball about this size, you can double that if you choose to. More is better, but simply open it up, let it sit out here in the air for a few minutes, and you'll be in business. And this is what we talked about a couple weeks ago, the bane of my existence. No matter what we do, this Rode microphone is garbage. It's already almost dead. Look at that. Oh man. Look at all that white meat right there. We're gonna do this right now because as you already saw, the microphone's gonna die. It's supposed to last like 18 to 24 hours. And once you start using it, it dies in 5 hours. So it's 100% garbage. Oh man. That's the first time on my channel. Corporal's Corner Rotisserie. Tell you what, I can get down on that. I'm thinking about something for Thanksgiving right now. Yeah. Yep. We're gonna do that. That is good. Catch you on a few. Eat your heart out, KFC. Let's go ahead and talk about this shelter real quick because we have probably 2-3 minutes left. Like I mentioned before, if you look at the size of this, it's the exact same size as a 2-person military pup tent. One person can sleep here, one person can sleep here, gear in the back or gear in the front. Or one person in here with all your gear, including firewood. So it worked out well. As long as you shingle that roof over there, meaning put one full grommet overlapping, it should shed the rain. Check out Orc Industries. Tell them I sent you. Once again, I'm not an affiliate. I get no kickbacks at all. But if you're looking for a good, affordable military poncho, hit them up. I'll put that link in my video description box. So the one thing we're not going to get to because the microphone is going to die once again, and I'm telling you right now, I give you my word, I'm going to switch this thing out this week. I'm going to order something different because I've had it with this. I'm going to probably burn it in the fire. We had some night ops planned with NVGs. I found a cheap pair, 100 bucks, and I want to go ahead and start testing these on my channel to see if it will actually do what I want it to do. I won't go into detail. We'll try that next week, and maybe I'll find 2 or 3 sets and we'll compare and contrast. But look forward to that, because I want to start introducing that kind of thing into my videos. Now that we're coming towards fall, it's going to cool down, and we get a lot more done and explore that new property over here. Once everything starts dying off and opens up and we can see everything in there. On that note, let's go ahead and get out of here. Don't forget the 100 Corporals Corner mess kits. If you miss out, get on my email list, download the free phone apps, and smash that notify when available button to guarantee you're not going to miss it. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in one spot, my website, corporalscorner.com. Now please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time. Oh yeah.